2, 1, 2.
Pages on there, so you probably might just say your pages there, mate. That's all.
Oh.
Who's road mic? This one.
Oh, that one. Oh.
Is that yours?
You're going to get page turning noises.
We've got a page turning, mate. We've got pages.
Do you want to?
Chuck it on.
That'll be much safer.
What about
Thank you, thank you. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Queensland, and good morning, Cairns. It's wonderful to be in Cairns with everyone here today, and also to a big shout out to all of our Facebook Live followers. Thank you for joining us here today, and we're coming direct to you from Cairns. I'll just give you the COVID update first. So, in good news, we only have one case, and that's in hotel quarantine. So, of course, once again, great news for Queensland. We only have 12 active cases, and we've had 8,235 tests over the past 24 hours. So, once again, if you're feeling sick, please go and get tested. That's what's keeping Queensland safe. So, thank you for everyone who's gone and got tested. We've had 2,894 vaccines in the past 24 hours, so we're up to 178,371. Well, today I want to talk to you about a great initiative that our government has put together to help the tourism industry in our state. And we want you to come and work in paradise. Jobs in paradise, so anyone from across Australia, we are going to give an incentive to come and help our tourism industry. And can I thank Australians, because we are seeing people coming to Queensland in droves. It's fantastic. I was out west the other week, out in Longreach, Barcaldine. I met people from out of Sydney on the train, people from Victoria. It's wonderful to see the support that Australians are giving to Queensland. And up here, of course, you've heard Mark and Ken talk at length about how our tourism industry has really felt it probably the most in the Queensland region, because Cairns and the tropical far north was so heavily reliant on the international tourists coming in. Because we don't have those international tourists at the moment, we are really absolutely driving our domestic market to get more and more people to come here. So our Work in Paradise, or as I like to call it, Jobs in Paradise, is an incentive program which can give you $1,500 to come and work up here. So Mark is going to talk a little bit more about the types of jobs we have up here in the tropical far north. But if you want to work with some tourism operators, if you want to work in our hospitality sector, and I had dinner last night in Cairns. It was great to see so many people out having dinner. It's wonderful. But what people are saying is they need more assistance with our hospitality workers, cooks, chefs, and in our hotels we can open up more bedrooms if we can get some cleaners and more staff to work in our hotels as well. So it's a good problem to have, and we just hope that this $7.5 million package will actually help the industry. Now it goes from Mackay north, so of course that takes in Mackay, our beautiful Whitsunday Islands, Townsville, all the way up from Townsville to Cairns in the tropical far north, and then west of Toowoomba. So like I said to you, I was out in Barcaldine and Longreach just recently, and people out there are saying, we're getting so many tourists through, we actually need more support. Now I know down south at the moment it's pretty cold. I'm hearing they've had the worst winter, or the worst May they've had for decades. Well, it's about 24 degrees here, maybe 25 by now. It's going to get warmer, and this is paradise. It is absolutely beautiful up here, and you can register now online. We'll give you the details, and the scheme starts on the 1st of July. So we want you to come here and work in paradise. So I'll hand over now to the Minister Sterling Hinchcliffe to say a few words. Then we've got Mark, and we've got our local members that are here today as well. And I just really urge you, if you think this is a dream for you, register and let's make that dream come true. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Premier. It's terrific to be able to be here today in Cairns and announcing this Work in Paradise scheme. This is an opportunity to give Australians and others in Australia the opportunity to come to our regions here in Queensland, where there is a whole range of jobs calling out for people to fill the gap of the international borders being closed and some of those traditional sources of workforce are not being available to the industry right across regional Queensland. So this is that opportunity to work in paradise. This is all part of the Palaszczuk government's economic recovery plan. This is how we can support industry, and it's in particular in relation to these workforce challenges that has been the number one issue that right across regional Queensland the industry has been raising with me as Tourism Minister what their biggest challenge is. There certainly are continued challenges for those parts of the sector that are internationally exposed, but for those that are booming and getting great opportunities out of our domestic tourism travellers, this is the number one issue. Workforce is the number one issue. There are operations in Queensland which don't have the capacity to fully open up. We need staff, and you can be that staff. Have an adventure in paradise, work in paradise, have an extraordinary experience, and we'll help you get here and provide some incentives for you to stay. So this involves not only the $1,500 incentive package to stay over a 6-month period that the Premier has highlighted, but also support for those who need to travel more than 100 kilometres to their new work location, a $250 travel allowance to help people do that relocating, and also working in partnership with our regional tourism organisations across regional Queensland to pull together a website where people can learn about those jobs and connect with those opportunities. I want to thank the regional tourism organisations that have worked in partnership with us, and thank the industry who have been raising this as an issue. I look forward to working with them further so that this can start on the 1st of July and provide that opportunity for so many people to work in paradise, have an extraordinary experience, and just like some others, maybe get a bug of what it's like to be in this great industry and stay with it for the longer term. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. You go first, Mark.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again to the Premier, to the Tourism Minister, and to our very hard-working Assistant Tourism Minister and local member for listening to the industry. Since February, tourism here has been booming, and we're creating nearly 60 jobs every single week. But without the international borders, without international visitation, and without international students in particular, many operators are finding it hard to meet that rapid growth in demand. Our student accommodation doesn't have international students in it. Our backpacker accommodation is missing our international adventure travellers, and many of our great experiences are unable to meet the surge in demand without a great workforce. This is paradise, but it is not the paradise that makes the difference, it's the people that make the difference. It's the talented workforce who create those memorable moments. And what we want to be able to do this winter is help so many of those businesses who are trying to close the $2 billion gap left behind by COVID in 2020. For many businesses in our region, this winter is make or break. This is their chance to be able to make back some of those incredible losses and rebuild the teams and retrain the teams that have delivered world-class experiences for decades. For businesses, this is a big investment. They need to invest weeks and weeks of time and an enormous amount of money to create the talent that creates the experience, that creates the global reputation for Cairns and the Great Barrier Reef, as a place where you see great and leave greater. So this incentive from the Palaszczuk government, firstly of $1,500 to keep a job and stay in a job here in our region, to encourage people from out of region to come in with a $250 travel subsidy, and TTNQ is announcing that we'll be matching that with a $200 Cairns holiday dollar to make sure that those workers not only work hard but play hard when they're here in the region. The best way to enjoy your time here is to get out and enjoy one of the 2,500 amazing experiences that we have here in our region. So we're looking forward to encouraging those hundreds of new workers that are needed. 60 new jobs a week takes time. We're really pleased that the Palaszczuk government recognises it from the 20th of May. If you join the industry, you'll be part of the program, and as the Premier said, from the 1st of July it kicks off. So if people are looking for more information, if you want to come and work and play in paradise, our website, cairnsgreatbarrierreef.com/workinparadise, has information on the travel incentive and the amazing incentive offered by the Premier today. The jobs that are available, and there are some fantastic jobs. Our hotels are looking for frontline staff. We need cleaners and divers and drivers. Our reef fleet is looking to grow. So many people want to get out to the Great Barrier Reef because so few Aussies have really taken the opportunity to see this world natural wonder. Our tour guides and our adventure products are looking for adventure guides. So there are so many jobs on offer. We've bundled them all together at cairnsgreatbarrierreef.com/workinparadise. And with the support of Study Cairns, we've also pulled together some accommodation options for you. So you've got a place to stay, you've got a flight to get on, you've got a job to take, and you've got an incentive to come and work and play in paradise. So thank you again to the Premier and the Palaszczuk government for their leadership, listening to the industry and jumping in at the time we need it most. This winter is absolutely essential for us. It is definitely 25 degrees and growing, Premier, and we know that down south so many people, we've spoken to so many young people who have said we don't want to spend another winter in the south. We're looking forward to working and playing in paradise. So we thank you again, and jump online, jump on board and get into the best job in the world. Thanks very much.
Our Assistant Minister for Tourism.
Thanks, Premier. Mark, well said. Thank you very much, Premier. Great to see you, and Minister, and to my parliamentary colleagues. Look, I think it's pretty well been said. This is an outstanding announcement. One of the things I really want to acknowledge, and that is that having spent 35 years in the tourism industry myself before having the privilege of being elected the representative for the people of Cairns, I personally know how important it is for these businesses. We have a lot of tourism representatives here today. I know a lot of these people. I've worked with them for a number of years. They've always needed to know that they have the strong support of the government. It's not just here in Cairns, it's the Whitsundays, it's the Gold Coast, as the Premier said earlier, out west, a wide range of areas. We have listened to what the industry have highlighted, and as a result we did that in relation to spurring more business. We came out with the vouchers. We've invested in aviation. We've got $15 million to be attracting people up into here, and now we've identified a crucial issue in relation to the job sector, and now we are responding to that. We work very, very closely, so I want to acknowledge that. I want to thank both the Premier, the Minister, and also the industry and Mark. And for anybody who's out there, it is a beautiful day. There are jobs in Queensland. Come on up, we're ready to have you and welcome you here. Thank you.
Thanks. We're happy to take some questions about this first. Everyone's...
I guess the issue comes to mind, rental obviously is very tight in regional Queensland. Encouraging more people to move up to the regions, how will that be addressed, sort of filtered out?
Yeah, well, as Mark said, we're talking to our different organisations across Queensland to work out some affordable accommodation options for people as well. So hopefully that will happen as well. So we want to make sure it's affordable for people, but you know, this is a great place to work, live and play, and bring your family. And I think a lot of people, if they move here, they won't be moving back, they'll be staying.
Can I ask you about the Uni Hospital project?
Sorry about the...
University Hospital
Yeah,
project.
sure.
JCU is forging ahead with their part of the plan, but we still need $100 million from the state government for full upgrade. What's the government's next move in regard to the project, and when will it happen?
Yeah, thank you. So in relation to the hospital, we have put in place, we've got about $67.6 million allocated towards that and $15 million towards land acquisition. Now, frankly, that land acquisition's taking far too long. So today, I'm authorising the Deputy Premier to use whatever powers he has at his disposal to make this happen. I'm sick of it being, it's just being stuck in bureaucracy. I'm going to just push that to the side, and we are going to make this happen. And whatever it takes, we're going to get that land acquired because I need that expansion to happen. I'm sick of the delays.
Do you think $1,500 is really enough to attract people to the region?
I do. I think it's better than nothing. And honestly, $1,500 may be that extra little bit that's going to make the difference of people thinking, will I move or won't I move? So there are jobs here. So I encourage everyone to look at the website, look what's on offer around from Mackay North and out to west of Toowoomba, and see what jobs suit you. There are so many opportunities out there that I don't think anyone needs to miss out. But of course, there's only $7.5 million, so you know, I'd get in quickly.
Premier, can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
We've got a chronic problem with a dozen ambulances cramming the emergency department car park at times. Michael Healy has suggested a solution is imminent. What is that solution?
Well, as we know, the Health Minister has allocated a considerable amount of money, and that money is being directed to the HHSs to try and alleviate that problem. But the other thing we also know is that it is not unique to Cairns, it's not unique to Brisbane. This is happening around our country. So I've asked for it to be placed on the National Cabinet agenda, but I've also asked the Commonwealth Department to actually look at are there some common reasons as to why going through the pandemic, when we had some lockdown periods and people stayed at home and some people were doing telehealth, is there more of an underlying reason as to why all at the same time people are presenting to emergency? So it's not unique to Queensland, it's happening right across our nation, and I do hope that we'll have a really good conversation at National Cabinet about some of those underlying causes.
Operators flagged the worker shortages earlier last November.
Yes.
The scheme won't kick in until July. How much is the register of need for?
Well, what we've seen is, look, I can remember when we were going through the pandemic, no one was coming to Cairns because no one was travelling. And that really had a big impact on workers. But now we're seeing people have more confidence in travelling. And I really want to thank Australians, because Australians are supporting the Tropical Far North. We put out the call for people to come. We had our Good to Go campaign where Queenslanders were supporting Queenslanders, and then we expanded that campaign into the southern states. And July, of course, is going to be, that winter is going to be a strong period, a strong season for up here, and we want to make sure that we start getting that workforce in place. So please log on, look at the array of jobs that are there, find something for you, and pack your bags and come north.
Premier, the Queensland's Northwest Hospital and Health Service Board has been issued a show cause notice. The Queensland's Northwest Hospital and Health Service Board has been issued a show cause notice amid concerns about its financial management and governance. Robbie Catter says it's not the board, it's the state government's issues, as did the opposition health minister. What's your response to that?
Look, as the show cause notice has been issued, we have to allow those processes to take place, so I can't really comment on that. It's now for members of that board to provide their response to the health minister.
Premier, on this program, obviously Mackay North, great news for them. What about the other? Was there a reason why the regions south of Mackay, like Wide Bay and CQ, they're not part of it at the moment?
Yeah, well they're going okay at the moment, and they're sort of within that drive market that people can, hop in their cars where the large populations are in the southeast and drive. Look, we'll look at that over time as well if there's an added need. But at the moment, we do know by speaking with all of our tourism bodies across the state that these areas are the highest need of demand at the moment.
We are hearing about boosted traveller confidence as Virgin's now preparing to put on their routes, put on more frontline roles. How exciting is that to hear, especially considering the state that the government's taking in the airline?
Yeah, well look, I absolutely support airlines putting on more staff. That's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to ensure that competition was kept, and we know how important Virgin is for regional Queensland. So adding extra staff is fantastic news.
Mr. Christopher's come out this morning and said that the state LNP believes the federal government was going to approach airlines about the well camp idea, but they've claimed that you have blocked it, saying there was no point until there was a commitment to build the facility first. Is this true?
Look, I've gone through this at length. I think Australians want to be kept safe. Queenslanders want to be kept safe, and Australians want to be kept safe. And we know that quarantine is a federal government responsibility. You know what, and the state signed up because we thought this was going to be for about a 2 or 3 month period. We are now well into a year of COVID, and I think everything needs to be explored to keep Australians safe. So I believe all options should be on the table, and the Prime Minister should be getting thorough briefings from his department and working respectfully with each and every leader about these crucial issues that will keep Australians safe.
Last one.
Is that completely baseless from the opposition then?
Yes. Yep.
Premier, can I just ask you,
yes, final one.
More than 40% of Queenslanders say they're reluctant to get a COVID vaccine. Does that concern you?
Look, this is, I can understand that some people are reluctant at the moment, but what I can say is that we are very much working with the Medical Association, with the pharmacists. I think Greg Hunt and the Health Minister today are announcing a rollout of further expansion with our pharmacies, especially where there is not a GP network in their local communities. But Queensland is a big state. It's so decentralised that so much planning is happening at the moment for that final quarter of the year when we have more supply in of Pfizer, Moderna. It is going to ramp up, and I know that Queenslanders are going to go out there in droves when we have all that supply ready.
Premier, have you had the jab yet?
No, not yet, because I have to have my flu vaccine first, and I think Dr. Young and I are planning to have that in the next week or two. Okay, thank you.
For the media, we've also got some of our operators with us and some of our new young talent who have moved into the region to take up tourism.